right, so let's dive into this Bitcoin ETF thing everyone's buzzing about.
Sounds good.
Okay, so get this. $2 billion, yeah, with a B, just flowed into Bitcoin ETFs.
Wow.
Yeah. It was on October 19th, according to the Crypto Times, so this is hot off the press.
Yeah, what's really interesting here is that it's not really about the amount, right? It's more about what it might be saying about how big players are looking at Bitcoin now.
Totally. Like, are institutions finally getting on board?
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, especially because this all went down right after the SEC gave the thumbs up to those spot Bitcoin ETFs.
Right.
Which, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know the jargon, basically means an easier way to invest in Bitcoin without all the headache of actually, like, owning it directly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like, well, have you ever tried to bake a cake from scratch?
Oh, yeah. Total disaster.
Right. So it's like, this is more like buying a cake that's already made. Like, some people love the whole process, but this just makes it simpler to get involved.
It's like the difference between buying individual stocks and then buying like an index fund.
There you go. Yeah, perfect analogy. And I think that's a big part of why we're seeing this huge inflow of money.
Makes sense. Easier access, more people jumping in.
Yeah.
And it's not just any investors, right?
Right.
We're talking big players like ARK Invest, BlackRock even. These guys are like the heavy hitters.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a real sign that Bitcoin is, well, I don't want to say going mainstream, but it's definitely gaining traction.
Yeah. And you know what really jumped out at me from the article? It was about Grayscale's GBTC, the one that usually has money flowing out.
Yeah.
Well, they saw a $91 million inflow. It's like everyone suddenly wants a piece of that pie.
It's interesting, right? Because GBTC has usually traded lower than the actual price of Bitcoin, you see.
Oh, okay.
So now with these spot Bitcoin ETFs getting approved, investors are thinking, hey, maybe there's an opportunity here. Because if Grayscale turns GBTC into a spot ETF, which they've been wanting to do, well, that price difference could shrink, and that means profits.
So it's like they're trying to anticipate the next move, get ahead of the game.
Exactly. And speaking of anticipating the next move, Standard Chartered, they're predicting that Bitcoin might be on its way back up to its all-time high.
Whoa, really? That's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
They must be seeing something promising.
Yeah, and here's the thing. They're factoring in the upcoming U.S. election, too.
Oh, wow. So even politics are playing into this.
Apparently so. The article mentioned a possible Trump re-election could have a big impact on Bitcoin's price.
Well, he definitely hasn't been shy about his opinions on crypto in the past. I mean, can you imagine? A presidential election potentially swaying the future of Bitcoin. Crazy.
It really shows you how unpredictable things are, both with crypto and, well, politics in general.
Oh, for sure.
What happens in one area can have a huge impact somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, and I think this whole thing is a much bigger deal than just, like, a blip on the radar for Bitcoin. Remember when Bitcoin was this, like, mysterious thing that nobody really understood?
Yeah, it seems so niche.
Totally. Now you've got these major financial institutions, like, actually putting their money where their mouth is.
It makes you wonder, are we at a turning point? Is this just a temporary thing? Or is this like the beginning of crypto, especially Bitcoin, becoming, a normal part of the financial world?
Right. Like, are we going to see Wall Street and Bitcoin become best buds? Or is this going to be a chaotic mess?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Absolutely. This is just the beginning.
All right, everyone. That's all the time we have for our deep dive today. Big thanks to Expert Speaker's Name for breaking it all down with us.
Thanks for having me.
And to all of you listening, make sure to check out the Crypto Times article we talked about. It's definitely worth a read. Until next time.